not all concerning Black people or slavery. And so, Lincoln frees the slaves. You get the Emancipation Proclamation. Once the Civil War is over, the North wants to punish the South, right? That's their main goal. Their main goal is, you put us through this war. We want to make you prove your loyalty. So what they did was, we went through this period called Reconstruction. And during Reconstruction, the Northern Republicans at the time put Black people in power in the South. So you got the first Black senator, Hiram Revels, and you got a bunch of Black people in power. And that period kind of was the apology. I don't know, but it was never a formal apology. The apology was brushed over because it wasn't about us, right? Like, and this is how you know, like, freeing the slaves wasn't about slavery. Because if it was, then we would have gotten a universal denouncement. The Confederacy and everything that stands for things that oppress Black people would have never gotten to continue and become this whole Southern pride thing, because that would have been quelled. The same way Nazi Germany was denounced by the German government. The German government made no mistake after Hitler. We don't fuck with that. That shit's illegal. It's outlawed. We found everybody. We taking them to trial. They was tracking down people, and for years they still tracking down Nazis. Most of them are dead now. They're probably all dead now. But there was a period in time where they had the Nuremberg trials and all these different things to bring these people to justice and to really hammer home that this shit was not cool. That never really happened for Black people in America. We never really got that. We never really got that apology. We never really got those reparations that they promised us. People wonder why we still talk about reparations, because we were set back so badly. And we had that brief period of, hey, we're going to give y'all a good look. But you had this period of Reconstruction from 1865 to 1877. And then what happened? What happened was the economy tanked. So the Democrats, or the Dixiecrats, or whatever you want to call them, the Southern Democrats at the time, won all their seats back. And what did they do? Jim Crowed us to fucking hell. So he went from, hey guys, you guys are going to be, senators and teachers and all this cool stuff, to you can't even sit in the same room. You can't even use the same fountain. You can't use the same bathroom. So, and then from there, we lived with that for a very long time, almost 100 years. So that was secondary slavery. That was slavery part 2. You're free, but you're not free. And we're living in slavery part 3. You know what I'm saying? So we might be part 4, but we do need to repair those wounds. And for the people who haven't had to deal with that, for white people who haven't had to deal with those things, because obviously you just didn't. It's just, you didn't choose to be born whatever you're born, but you just didn't have to go through it. Your community doesn't have to feel the reverberations of those situations. So yeah, man, it sucks. But as a nation, we have to repair that before we can really move forward. And I think that's a lot of what these protests are about. George Floyd is the spark on the powder keg, right? This might be the straw that broke the camel's back. So yeah, man. Luckily we got folks like us out here willing to talk, willing to admit these things, willing to say them out loud, and willing to make the change. So appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate you.
All right. So Sarah Jane, you still out there? I think Sarah Jane's parents are going to pull up on us.
Yeah, my mom just pulled up and said that before.
Oh, okay. she want to talk, or? I would love to get her perspective. I think we can't hear you anymore.
Oh, sorry. She's kind of fact checking you in some ways because she loves history, but.
Oh, dope. No, I love it because
Are you sure you don't want to go she's being a little shy.
It's cool. No, it's okay. I love the perspective, and I love to learn. So
You got it good, but it was actually it was Andrew Johnson when Lincoln was
there you go.
assassinated right at the very end of the Civil War, and Andrew Johnson was politics make strange bedfellows. So Lincoln, in order for Lincoln, he was highly divisive. They he had to take this this bitter pill of Andrew Johnson, who is a racist Southerner. And as soon as Lincoln was assassinated, do you know the term 40 acres and a mule?
Yes, yes.
And so they were actually doing that. Do you know the plantations left all the southern those real desirable waterlands right now in the Atlantic Ocean? They gave they had asked some what would make you feel free, and any American, basically anybody, would say I need land. So they said, okay, I'm going to give you 40 acres, and they divided it up. It was called Sherman's Acres, and the Union soldiers helped give them 40 acres and a mule because the army had tons and tons of mules. So that's where 40 acres and a mule comes from. But Lincoln gets assassinated. Andrew Jackson comes to play, who's the biggest racist in like our history. And we never learned this. We never ever learned this. And he decides, he was a Southerner. He decides, well, fuck that. We don't, you have to give that land back. And the very same Union soldiers that settled these freed slaves go back and take the land, and they have to sign this big document that says you don't really own it. You're a share. That's where sharecroppers come from. And then it just one thing after another. What was really, have you guys all need to read the 1619 Project, which came out the New York Times right now, and there's like lots of reprints. And I was just like ashamed and so pissed off at my country for things that I didn't learn. Just even about the horrible violence of Black Wall Street, and there's never been reparations for that. And we don't even know, they don't even have the bodies yet. And I agree with that you can't have forgiveness without acknowledgement and reconciliation. But the one thing that I want to tell you, all of you now, all you youngsters, is that I have never seen this level of awareness and this level of anger and this level of activism, and people just coming to terms with what their role was in this and what can they do to make things better. And so keep fighting. And the most important thing that you have to do is you have to vote, and you have to vote in local elections, because that's how a police commissioner gets appointed. That's how a police chief, all those other things, those are local elections. And get this idiot out of the White House. All right, I love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Yay, Mom. I'm always here for a history lesson, man. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, so I got my guy Boominati. What's going on, my guy? Got you back on here, Boominati.
Hi, how you doing? That was dope. So I mean, what are we doing now? Are we?
Oh, we gonna get to. I thought you had a question. So yeah.
Oh no, I just threw my thumbs up at the.
Oh, okay,
her.
appreciate
it.
just showing some support. Yeah,
yeah.
Dope. Shout out to the reaction. Smart boy, you was just reacting. You was giving a. All right, we appreciate Mom pulling up, man. That was fire. Yeah. No, it's crazy because, once again, growing up different places, we had this conversation earlier off camera, but growing up different places, you get taught different things. And, I got lucky because I tested. Actually, I won a lottery to go to a different school outside of my neighborhood where I learned a lot of the stuff that I learned. And then I ended up going to a college prep high school where, you know, I took African American studies, and I had a world history teacher who was amazing, and I had an American history teacher who on the first day held the book up and said, "This shit is told by the winners." And I was like, holy crap. You know, it's just like, wow. He was like, listen, it's some bullshit in here. And then we talked about the real, you know what I'm saying? But that was because I grew up I grew up in Philly, and education was important. But I also grew up in a certain part. I was given a certain experience in Philly that the rest of my homies didn't get. People I grew up with didn't get the same education I got. So that's when I really figured out, like, oh, education is also fragmented. Like, we don't learn a lot of the stuff. You know, I read books like Before the Mayflower by Lerone Bennett Jr. A lot of, you know, that's like the history of slavery. It's like a document of things from slave ship times to, I think it kept getting revised, but, you know, to like the 60s, 70s, and 80s and such. But it's important that we educate each other, that we, you know, share these books. But, you know, whatever y'all didn't learn, whatever I didn't learn, man, we still learning. And that's the dope thing about it. Like, we still out here, we still getting these lessons. We still, you know, getting this education. So let me check and see. We got a couple more folks. I want to check in with my guy, Sam Mandel, a really dope young dude out there in New York. Sam, man, how you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm hanging in there, you know, going day by day, like I think a lot of people are right now. Just trying to I'm just trying to really like digest all the information being thrown around right now, because when you go on social media, like, you're pulled in all these different directions. Especially when it comes to ways that you can help. And there seems to be a sense of like, I don't know, I think that there's a feeling of, if you're not out there, you know, if you're not in the protest, then your efforts are illegitimate. So I've been trying to just take my time, figure out like the ways that I can have the most impact in the areas that I am passionate about and think are really important. Yeah, that's kind of been where my mind's at, you know.
That's a heavy thought.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not like it's not like tomorrow, like the answer will come to me.
Right.
It's definitely like a difficult thing to figure out, as well as more of like a long-term plan, rather than just you know, what you're doing like in the spur of the moment. And I think it kind of leads itself to, and one of the things I think is really important, if you're in the position, if you're trying to help, is like asking yourself why you're doing that specific thing. And like, you know, if you find yourself in this mindset of, you're trying to go to the protest because that's what you feel you have to do because everyone else is going, then maybe that's not like the best thing for you to do. Maybe you can, you know, like you said, like maybe you take up a different role, and maybe you can have a greater impact in a different space. And that's okay. You know, every way of helping is equally legitimate, as long as you're helping.
Yeah, you know, we've done some pretty important things on social media as a group, as a collective. We've taken down some racists. We've shared amazing information. You know, everybody who's at home, you know, who's out here sharing information, who's, you know, like sharing these atrocities. Like, I hate to see bad things,
Yeah.
but we have to look, you know, and there's more people who are having their eyes open than ever. You know, like Sarah Jane's mother said, the awareness level is through the roof. And a lot of that is because this information moves so fast on social media, you know, and a lot of us are being responsible and sharing good information, and being fact checkers, but also being active and making sure that these messages are being shared properly. So, even having the conversation, having the tough conversations with your social circle and letting them know the perspective that they might not have access to. You might have access to a perspective that an entire group of people don't.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I do. And when I talk about, my life has always been different social groups, right? There's been my immediate social group where I've grown up. There's been my school friends. There's been people I went to school with. There's been, college buddies. There's been military buddies. There's been people I do music with. Like, each one is different. So you have the ability, and we have the ability to harness our power within those circles and make positive change that reverberates on a higher level. So as long as we keep doing that, we keep, holding each other accountable. Like, it's a different world. Social media is powerful. It's an actual connection. There's an actual energy that touches the real world. It's not like a separation, like, oh, you're just at home doing nothing. No, you can do a whole lot.
Yeah.
You do a whole lot on the World Wide Web, on Al Gore's internet. So as long as we keep, doing what we can, man. And Sam, I appreciate your energy. You're an amazing musician, but you're a really dope person too, man. So do what you can, and be the change. Be the light, be the example for other people. And as long as you stay authentic to that, you'll be good.
Can I harp on one more thing too?
Go ahead.
Before I head off. So you kind of just got to it at the end, and it's something that Agent M said too. But what he said is like, on an individual level, this is not just about you, right? And I speak as a white person and two white people. One of the things that I think a lot of people are doing, including myself, are kind of looking back and reassessing their own past and things that they may have done, things that they may have said, whether they had ill intention or not. And I think one of the quicker defenses you can reach is like, nah, but I'm a good guy. Like, I'm nice. Like, everyone knows that I'm a nice guy. But, I think you kind of have to, there's a level of realization that this is not about whether or not you individually are a nice guy or able to make friends. You kind of have to push through that defense and really think about, really just assess the things in your past that are coming up, whether or not they're aggressive or not. It's important to kind of push past that immediate defense.
Dope.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, man. We all got to do some soul searching. And it's very important, man, that's something that I don't know if I knew what I was doing at your age, the self-analysis. Because once you start doing that, like, we all do dumb shit. We all, like, it's just a part of life. But,
of course,
once that self-assessment starts and, your moral compass shifts, people can grow to be their best selves. But that's the key. The key for me, and one of the things that I've always tried to do, is to try to continue to learn and grow. Is to never really have like a set, like, this is me, this is my position. I know it all. Like, nah, it's always like new information. All right, cool. Let me process. Let me look back. Let me look forward. Let me figure it out. So just taking the time to do that, man. I hope that you find a place where you can figure all those things out and move forward positively, as unimpacted by this mess as possible. That's something I wish for everybody.
It's a lifelong journey. It's not just like a, wake up tomorrow and you're there.
Yep. No, lifelong journey for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, my guy.
Yeah, appreciate everyone here, for real.
My guy Trap.
What's good, Scissor?
Doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. How's the countryside going on out there?
Man, hearing way more gunshots out here.
Hopefully
I'm
hunting.
glad I was on mute because it was just pat, 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 pat. That's pretty constant out here, though. They're just out shooting whatever garbage they leave in their yard, but you know. But yeah, man. Lately I've been thinking a lot about, obviously like race and racism has been coming up in conversation more in the last week than it had in the last, year. And that's good because it's the thing that really needs to be talked about most right now. But I like to ask like people like, okay, but what is race though? And what is racism actually? Because I think there's a lot of disparate opinions about what these terms even mean. Some people are like, well, I'm not racist. I've never burned a cross. I've never put on a Klan hood. But we live in America. We are all racist because to me, my thought on the matter is racism is a way of thought, a lens through which we view the world where race is a thing that matters, that we are able to treat people differently or make assumptions about people based on this idea of race. But what's race? Like, we talk about the human race, that one I believe in. But, as real as racism is, I don't believe that race is real. I believe that racism is completely founded on a fallacy, an ideology that is built to divide and conquer the people.
No, that's heavy. But things that we need to think about, and make no mistake, because I've shared a similar opinion, and I want just to say that there are different realities, right? Race in America is very real. It's very real because we've made it real. It is the realest thing there is. But that doesn't mean that it's founded on something that's actually accurate. And race is a concept that has been brought up in different ways throughout history. And the main concept of race that we utilize came about in the mid 1700s, right? So it's not wrong to think about that because I think about it all the time. I don't judge. I try not to judge people based on what they look like. And that's anybody. That's just anybody I see. But it's a very human thing to do because we live in these segregated places, and we're taught from the moment we're born, like racism is taught. Race is taught. These are things that are taught. If I didn't know what black was, if I didn't know what white was, if I didn't know, any of these things were, from the time that I was born, I would never know what they were. If I grew up in a bubble where people were just people, then they would remain people. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But we do have to consider the source and consider the fact that what does this even mean? Heavy. I love psychology. I love sociology. I love to study those things because they play a lot into race. They play a lot into a lot of factors that go on in America. Like if you don't consider socioeconomic conditions and if you don't think about the fact that we've been conditioned through images and through all these other things, we had a conversation. I'm gonna bring Double A in a second. We were talking about how you grow up and my whole life, it was like things that were black are the bad guy wears black, everything that's dark is insidious and bad, and things that are white and light are right. Even so much as black kids wanting a white doll more than they want a black doll. Those tests that they used to do in the 50s and 60s, that's all about conditioning. That's all about here. And when people wanted to break the slaves, they used those tactics. They knew what they were doing. there was intent. They understood this is what you do to break a person. You separate them. And we see it in other cultures. It happens in India. You have caste systems. And there's other cultures that we've studied. And maybe we need to look at our own and ask these tough questions. Because nobody wants to talk about that. You know why? Because as a Black person, I've been conditioned to have to love myself more than I should based on a skin color. So, with all these negative things, I've had to turn them and flip them and make them positive. I've had to make them, Black power and all these things, right? I had to, because you told me I was trash. You know what I'm saying? So it's a natural reaction when somebody always tells you like you're less than a person. But it's okay. I just want to say that. I want to say for everybody, it's okay to ask these questions. I believe it's okay to ask these questions because a lot of people would counter and say, well, you're discounting this and you're discounting that. No, we're not. We're just talking about the source and talking about why things are the way they are, because they're not natural.
Yeah. Amen. Like racism is like a byproduct of a natural human psychological condition to categorize things and to try and be able to predict things that will help you survive. Exactly. It's like if every snake that has black and yellow on it kills the people that it bites, then you look at the next snake that has black and yellow and you're like, extra, stay away.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
it makes sense evolutionarily why we're able to do this. But now that we're Homo sapiens sapiens, the one that knows it knows, now we can do better.
Right.
We have a minute to think. You can take a deep breath and ask yourself, where is this thought actually coming from? Is this fair? Is this true? We don't have to react in an instant. And if we react poorly, we don't have to stick with it. And that's like something I see about a lot of people saying they're unfriending all the people on their timeline right now, say anything outside of the correct echo chamber. But if we leave them to that echo chamber, we might have been the last voice of reason in the world. And yeah, for sure, some people are extra toxic and need to get blocked. I get it. But if they're a person that loves you and cares about you and might listen to you, I think it's our duty, like, fuck, especially as the white people out here who don't want to see racial division, who do want every human to have human rights. Like, how about we make sure that we step into this discomfort? Like, yes, uncomfortable to have a conversation with that proverbial asshole uncle at Thanksgiving, but like, fuck how cold the turkey gets. We got to talk about this shit, dude.
Put that on a damn t-shirt. Fuck how cold the turkey gets. We got to talk about this shit. But that is, man, that's a real shit trap.
Man, appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you too, sis.
Uh-oh, Parker's in the building.
Hola.
Parker, what's up, bro?
I'm here. Been running around in the house all day because I had a bunch of shit to do. Sorry about that. But yeah, wanted to make sure I jumped on this one because I wanted to. I feel like it was really important to be on this call more than the others, just because of the current climate and what's going on. And I like the fact that we're having it. I feel like I'm not sure if everyone knows, and this is something too, like as a Black person, I'm learning as well. Like I'm learning about how deep the river runs when it comes to this race shit, because a lot of people just don't. I think a lot of the source of a lot of ignorance, especially from white people, is that the fact that they don't know how deep it runs. And a lot of what I've been seeing has been difficult. Like I had to tune out of Twitter for a while just because I'm glad that people are filming everything on the protest, because for a white person who wants to learn and understand how deep this runs, that's a great way to get information about that, is to see. You need to see some cops fucking people up. You need to see some people getting tear gassed down. Like, you need to see that because you don't see that in your everyday life. But for the Black person, it's hard because it just feels like another form of systematic oppression, in the sense that we're used to this. We already know what the game is. So we're scrolling and we're watching ourselves have to view our suffering in a vacuum because we're seeing it on Twitter in the form of videos or protest videos. And you know, whether we know it or not, that's like, it's almost like a way like we're giving ourselves PTSD if we don't already have it. And I feel like that's part of the reason why, like, seeing the video of George Floyd being killed on camera was crazy for me, because I'm like, I'm a Black man. So I could easily insert myself into that narrative. I have so many, it brought back all those memories of any time that I've ever been profiled or pulled over, or or just discriminated against. I remember I used to live in a really nice townhome community in Tampa, and the president of the homeowners association there was racist, and he came to threaten me and my friend late at night. It was like 9 p.m. and we were just in the guest parking lot talking, and he came over, harassed us, and then like, I remember he went across the street to the lady's house. There's a lady that lived across from guest parking, and she had a garage door open, because in Florida, people do that at night. They'll just leave their garage doors open. And he walks inside, and we can hear him because he's within earshot. He's talking to her, and he's like, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything good? I just want to make sure because, you know, there's some gentlemen outside. They haven't come to trouble you or nothing like that, right?" And I can hear him talking to this lady who clearly doesn't give a fuck that we're in guest parking, but he was so concerned about it to the point where he had to make it a point to go, like, check on her safety to make sure she was okay, because he thought it was a threat. And we were dressed, I used to work at a car dealership, so we were dressed in a shirt and tie. And still, like, that still happened. We still got profiled. So it's like, that's just one microaggression of many that I've experienced as a Black person. But where, and I don't mean to go on or run too long, but basically what I wanted to say was, racism is a systematic, long-term problem in this country that needs a systematic, long-term solution. So I think, especially if you're white, the best thing you can do is understand and learn how rigged this system is against Black people, because we're talking about having you know, a 450 year it's basically like playing a game with somebody and they got a 450 year head start. 400 years of slavery and 50 years of marginalization throughout society. And even in places like in Tulsa or in Rosewood, where we had found a way to bootstrap ourselves back up from ground zero and build our own wealth and create our own economy to support ourselves, racist white people came in and literally burned down and bombed those places because they just don't want us to win that badly. That's how deep this shit runs. It's systematic. Even if you learn about, like, redlining, like Netflix has that show called Explain. You should probably watch the episode that talks about the wage gap, and you listen to Cory Booker talk about how his parents got a house for him, or how they got their family home in the 70s. They had to basically use a white family to front as the buyers for their house, because they were trying to buy a house that was in a neighborhood that wasn't redlined, just so they could get a house that had a good enough property value. And once the realtor found out that it was actually Cory Booker's family that was trying to get the house, he was like livid and upset, because he genuinely believed that he was going to lose business if people around him found out that he had sold a house to a Black family in those times. And sure enough, that house became the source of Cory Booker's wealth. Like, that's a big reason that Cory Booker says that his family is wealthy today, is because his father was able to get that house in the 70s, and that expanded and gave him access to wealth to buy more property so that he could accumulate wealth. And it's like, that's how rigged the system is against Black people. It's not just like, oh man, they're treating you bad because you're brown. It's like, nah, like, you're cut off from certain, like, rights, your ability to build wealth in this country, your ability to you know, play the game of life or Monopoly, so to speak. We're going to take away your game pieces so you can't play. or we're going to give you a certain amount of money so that you can't play, and it's going to be at a ceiling. And it's this thing where they've created a system where, regardless how you feel about it, the system says you can't go past this line. That's how it is for Black people in this country, even more than Latinos and Asians. And it's just, that's one thing I've just kind of woken up to and seen and realized. So I think that's like a really important part of the conversation that needs to be had, is like, if other people want to be able to like learn how best they can be allies, is like understand the depth of our plight, because it's deep shit. It runs all the way down to the fucking bottom, and it's crazy. So yeah.
Factual, man. No, I mean, systemic racism. Quick story. My uncle was the so my uncle worked for Bell. Bell, I guess Ma Bell, back in those days before it was all broken up. And he was in, I believe, the sales department. And I might just be making that up, but he was in one department, and the person that he worked under was super racist, like super racist. So he was, kind of diligent, just taking the guy's stuff. And another guy from the marketing department, a Jewish fellow, said, "Why don't you come work with me?" So my uncle goes to work with this guy. 30 years later, my uncle is the number 3 guy at Verizon, right? He implements minority hiring protocols that probably got AA his job. He serves on the board of all these prestigious companies. He's friends with all these rich folks, but he's still the N-word. He still gets pulled over, like, even if you survive, even if you're one of the few they let through, you still have a place, right? You still have a level that you can attain. And there's only a few spots. It's funny, like when we think about like the fact that people complain about affirmative action. If we didn't have affirmative action, we would have even less spots. But systemic racism is that deep. It is that deep to where it is ingrained in systems. It is ingrained in jobs. It is ingrained in the police. It's ingrained in the fire department. It's ingrained in the electricians union. It's ingrained in record labels. It's ingrained in the NFL. It's ingrained in the NBA. And I think those are the conversations that we're starting to have in individual industries. You're starting to see these conversations break out and really start to get to the root of those types of problems, because we've all had those microaggressions, even up to the level of big aggressions where there's a cop with a gun in your face, or multiple cops with guns in your face. When I was 17 in college student, and it was sad that you had to say how you were dressed, like we even had on suits. But this is the type of stuff that we have to say. Like, I was being a good Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even being like, I was just like, I wasn't causing any problems. Like, it's sad that we have to really go there. But at 17 was the first time I had a gun. Well, I had multiple guns pointing in my face. And our crime was pulling into a gas station with a flat tire. So the cashier called the police through a silent alarm before we even walked in the door. I mean, as soon as we walked in the door, he hit the button. Now, mind you, we bought snacks. We had a whole conversation with the guy. He didn't even tell us he had called the police. So by the time we got back out to the car with our food we paid for, because you got to say that, I was being a good Black, paid for my food, had a good conversation with the gentleman, the entire Stafford County Police Department pulled up on us as if we were trying to rob the place in broad daylight, mind you. Not even an hour north of Washington, D.C. So no matter what, this is always going to be a situation where people need to realize, like, everything that Parker just said is the normal shit that we've been living with forever. And all these kumbaya messages, and, you know, I turned on my Amazon TV and it said Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Like, the reason why this one's going to stick is because of what you said, and because we know that that's the level at which people need to understand our plight for this to actually change. We're tired of the appeasement, okay, they're just, okay, we're going to lock the cops up and then you guys can go back in the house. We're not going back in the house. We're not going back in the house until we live in a world where the systemic bullshit is done, or at least addressed. Because after we play some music, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about police. And we're going to talk about systemic problems. So I'm glad that you were able to raise this conversation, because we need to talk about those things, because in those industries and in those boys clubs and in those groups are really where we're terrorized. And it doesn't matter if the officer's Black, Chinese, whatever. That system is already set up a certain way, and they live by a certain set of rules, and it's anti-Black from the gate. You know, it's certain things. We've all been in a neighborhood that didn't want us there. Like, Black people constantly find themselves in places where, you know, and it's different. When I'm in the South, it's somebody, what you boys doing out around here? You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. And Don stepped in the chat to tell a situation where me, him, S1, who's probably the nicest person you'll ever meet in life, were traveling, and all they saw was microaggressions and people who didn't want us in their town. They didn't want us in their gas station. And when we got to Missouri, I knew Missouri was racist before Ferguson, because I drove through it. And holy shit, it was one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in my life. You know, we talk about the South, but it's so many levels and different types of racism, and so many different dangers for Black people in America, so many traps, you know, that we got to be careful about that. So thank you for sharing that, Parker. That was some real shit, my guy, because we definitely need to have that conversation too. My guy, Double A, I want to check in with you. If I could find you.
I'm here.
There you go. There you go, sir. Yeah, man. So, Double A, BounceGvng legend. Talk to the people, man.
Yeah, man. It's outlook was a little bit different coming up. I'm from Clayton, New Jersey, South Jersey. So South Jersey is definitely as Keith was alluding to, some of the North Jersey, it's a melting pot. You know, you got people of all nationalities and cultures, and spread out over what I thought used to be a big area, but really Jersey is small. So you're exposed to a lot as a kid. So I was fortunate that I was exposed to a multicultural environment through elementary school, middle school, high school, and even college. Another good thing is, you know, I come from a strong household. You know, my mom and dad were pretty awesome. Dad was an elder in the church, so I'm a PK through and through, and PK stands for preacher's kid, for those that don't know. Now, racism was prevalent, right? And it was subliminal, you know, where it wasn't loud. It was subliminal, and Sis brought it up earlier, you know, coming up, all the heroes were white or dressed in white or dressed as such. The closest thing you got to a Black hero was a sidekick. You know, go back to the 80s, you know, Thundercats, we know that Panther, even though he was a Panther, we know that he was Black, but he was a sidekick. He wasn't the main guy. You know, we never seen a leading role. And even though Black Panther was out during Marvel Comics, that wasn't the big push for us. We didn't really see a lot of him. We saw, you know, X-Men, other heroes, but they weren't Black. So everything good was white and everything bad was Black. The villains were Black. The villains had hoodies. All the leading Black actors, they had thug type roles. You think New Jack City, Nino Brown, he's a drug dealer. He kills people. It's just a repeated theme over and over again growing up. And even on, you know, I'm gonna throw BET under the bus. Everything was negative. You didn't really find that many positive images. You know, thank God we had, you know, stuff like Teen Summit where we had conversations. But for the most part, overall, you didn't really see a good representation of Black people coming up. Now, what I did see, just my experience, I didn't look at things in terms of race, but I looked at it from a perception of power, popularity, and bullies. Because I was one of the have-nots. I used to get picked on a lot because I know what that feels like. So I will always run to the defense of somebody that's being mistreated, regardless of what their nationality is or what their background is. To me, right is right, wrong is wrong, because I know what that feels like to be picked on. No, we didn't have a lot, but when I said my parents did a great job, I didn't know that I was poor because my house was full of love. Right?
Me either.
I didn't know that I was poor until, you know, I got older. Like, oh, yeah, we really didn't have anything. But my parents did such a great job of making sure that we didn't feel that way. And we had a race riot in my school too. It was freshman year, and like half the athletes got thrown out, and that decimated our entire varsity squad. So we sucked. But even in that, you know, we saw a lot of unity come from that, kind of like what we're seeing now. We're seeing a lot of, it's not just Black people out there. Like we were on a call earlier, and I went grocery shopping, and I was like, there's a whole bunch of kids out here not social distancing at all, and I was behind them. But when I turned the corner, they were doing the BLM movement. It was all different types of nationalities. It's not just a Black thing anymore. And I really think that what we're witnessing right now is just the beginning, because as we tackle Black Lives Matters, you're going to see that it's going to be a domino effect. And Park, you hit on the head, the systemic racism part, the whole system, what we're seeing, what triggered my thought process when I saw videos of police knocking down elderly white men. I said, oh, this is not just a racism, this is a power, this is a control thing now. They want to keep things as they are now because that's their system of control. And if we break that, they have a problem. So now they're pulling out all the weapons to gain that control back, but it's too late. Cat's out the bag. The world sees this thing for what it is. So I'm hopeful that no, we're nowhere near done. We barely just started, but I'm hopeful that change is gonna come. And just another thing, just so people really understand, my Facebook timeline is lit right now with full of brothers saying, you know, I'm a Black man, we're Black. It's a beautiful thing to see, but it's the saddest thing to see, because that's what we have to do that just to have basic pride. Think about that. Just to have some type of pride in who we are, we have to post about it. I really want people to think about that. As a Black person, I have to put up a post and tag as many Black men and women as possible to do the same thing, just so we can feel a sense of pride for ourselves. Now, anybody that has been in this situation, I want you to ask, when's the last time that you had to do something like that? I need to show that I'm okay. So all my people stand with me, you know, I'm this and I'm proud. Can anybody that's not of color answer that question honestly? Have you ever had to do anything like that to have a sense of pride about yourself and who you are? That's how traumatized we are. We have to make pride posts. We have to make private rooms about Black-owned businesses so we can support each other. We have to come together just to build each other up, just so we can get through the day. We have to encourage each other with a positive word to keep each other from going off the edge. We have to pray each other through situations that, as a human, you shouldn't have to go through. These are the things that don't make sense. And you're going to have there's black on black crime. We're not talking about that. There's white on white crime. There's race on race crime in every nationality. There's nationality on nationality crime everywhere you go. That's not the point. That's not a subject here. We're talking about authority targeting minorities. That's the subject. And there was a post. There's a picture 55 years ago. Police, stop killing us. 55 years ago. There's a picture right now circulating on social media that was taken 55 years ago. So what's changed? Nothing. They just put a mask over it, and now that mask has been removed. It's unfortunate that this had to happen, but it was necessary that everybody saw it. Because enough's enough. We can't take and too much more of this. We can't take this. We can't take anymore. Like the cup is now running over, and it's spilling everywhere. And if it doesn't get fixed, everybody's going to feel it. You can't tell somebody how to react to years and years of suppressed emotions. I said it on Smart Boy show that I gotta walk on eggshells when I should be free to stomp as loud as I want. You got to understand what that's like, especially if you don't have any hope. Imagine what that's doing to people that don't have hope. You want to say, oh, they're out here being animals. Well, you put them in a cage. What do you expect somebody to do? If you lock them up, they're going to behave as such. I'm not coming against anybody that's out here rioting or looting, whether I agree with it or not. I understand why they're doing it. And America has to take responsibility for that. You caused this. Systemic racism, breaking up Black homes, separating Black fathers from Black mothers from their kids, that systemic stuff, it has a negative effect. And here it is. And now it's on your doorstep. And now you want to turn the face like, oh, we have nothing to do with that. No, you have everything to do with that. Now we can
come home to roost.
Facts. Now, what we can all come together and fix the problem. But if you're going to draw a line in the sand, us against you, it's scary. It's scary the direction that this can go. And I really pray that our leaders they just wake up on the right side of the bed and put an end to this. Because if we go forth and we start doing some economic practices where we stop spending our dollar, that's a black eye for the country right there. I don't know how long you're gonna be able to survive that. It's a lot of ways that this can go, and I'm just praying for the most peaceful resolution, because I don't want to see nobody hurt. Like this, it's a necessary thing, but at the same time, my compassion, I don't want to see nobody hurt. I really don't. So it's a tough spot to be, and everybody has a role to play. Whether you're out on the front lines or whether you're supporting financially, we're trying to get a sheet together on national spots you can donate, local spots you can donate for the bail funds, things of that nature. Everybody's going to have a role to play, but that all lives matter perspective. Come on, educate yourself at this point. Stop.
Yeah, I can't even believe that that's still a conversation. I want to speak on the power aspect of what you said. White supremacy is largely about power, and white supremacy is a system. You know how they used to talk about the man, and you watch like those like black exploitation movies, and the man would actually be like this shadowy white guy, like walking around, like making people fall. You know what I mean? Like doing all kind of goofy stuff. But it was like that's the actual representation of a system, right? That guy, the man, is the system. It's not even people. We're all affected. And to go back to what Trap was saying, we're all affected by this system of white supremacy. Because the funny thing is, people who aren't even benefiting from white supremacy uphold it. They get nothing out of it. But the fact that they can feel better about themselves not being black or not being Mexican or not being Puerto Rican or not being Asian or whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? Like, but also we have to remember seeing these images of that 75-year-old gentleman who got pushed by the police in Buffalo. The young lady who got killed because her asthma triggered because she got hit with the tear gas. You know, these are white faces. For young people who've never seen that, let's be clear. Let's talk the facts. Black people would still be in cages if it wasn't for white allies. We have to at some point be people. You know, freedom riders included white people who were dying for civil rights, who literally put their lives on the line. There are white people out here jumping in front of police right now because they believe in what's going on. And they don't believe in that white power structure. But that white power structure is well-funded. You know, it's when we talk about the 1%, right? We talk about the most of the people have the money. A lot of those systems, like I said, you talk about the NFL, it's cool, Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell, you now all of a sudden we did Kaepernick wrong. So resign. Resign. We need some black people in the NFL office besides the players union guy, you know, besides Troy Vincent, who is really just a go-between, and we need more power in those boardrooms, right? It's a bunch of old white men who most come from racist times. Jerry Jones, Tex, whatever his name is, from Houston, like, you know, all these folks who black people are cool to make you money and to play a sport, right? So you could be a billionaire and they could be a millionaire and put their life on the line and end up with traumatic brain disorders and, you know, killing themselves like Junior Seau, right? For your entertainment. But you don't want them to have a place at the table. They can't actually be powerful. You know, they can't actually be owners. They can't actually be a part of that club, right? So that's power and white supremacy working together, hand in hand, to hold all of us back, to keep all of us divided for their purposes, right? And we need to remember that. We need to remember that there are people who love to see us go at it, who love to see poor people of all colors just hate each other. You know what I'm saying? Because all they do is they benefit from it. You know, power is a large component of what keeps people oppressed. They don't want to give us pieces of that power. Let's say you get in the owner's box. Now you get the opportunity. Like I said, my uncle used his position to make sure that, I'm from Camden, New Jersey, dog. Y'all need to hire some black people around here. And not just in, you know, not just in the mailroom. You know what I'm saying? We need to get some black executives and groom them to come up and really actually do some things in the world. You know,
your uncle, man, because Verizon is definitely well diverse. And
oh man, that was his life's mission. That was his life's mission. You know, but that's with the little bit of power I got. I've constantly tried to uplift people who didn't have an opportunity. I constantly try to look out for young Black men and women, and bring diversity and opportunity to people who would not get it any other way. I know, like, I've saved people's lives by giving them an outlet, an alternative to the situation that they were stuck in. Music is sometimes that for people, sometimes it's sports or whatever, but it's about the power. They don't want to give me the power because I'm going to use it to do good. I'm not going to use it to make money. I'm going to use it to get comfortable, but I'm going to use it to make sure that we all eat, because that's the type of time I'm on. But the people that have the power, that's not the type of time they're on. So when you see people, you see their motives, and you see them upholding the system of white supremacy, most of the time, a lot of it is because they want that power, right? They're being shepherded by, look at Donald Trump. Let's talk about Donald Trump for a second. It's the appearance of what people think Donald Trump is. All these years, we had this image of what we thought Donald Trump was. Donald Trump was, even in the Black community, the ultimate, oh yeah, he's rich because his name is on these buildings, right? So you heard rap songs, Donald Trump, Trump this, Trump that. You didn't hear that Donald Trump took out the ad in the newspaper about the Central Park Five. We didn't hear that he was doing all these terrible things with housing in New York City, discriminating against people and all that stuff. We didn't hear that. We just saw the image. Oh, Donald Trump's cool. Till we learned who Donald Trump really was. Right? Till we really found out who he was. But it's too late because people want to be rich. They want opportunity. So what do? They idolize those who have it. We idolize celebrities. We idolize people with power because we want it. And white supremacy plays off of that. And that's a big problem that America has. The haves and the have-nots. We all want to have. So a lot of people compromise themselves. Mm-hmm. Look at all these Black people that support white supremacy. It's Black people upholding white supremacy right now. Some of them wearing police uniforms, some of them wearing red MAGA hats, some of them in their own neighborhoods, tearing up their own people. So we all got to be conscious of what we idolize and what's important to us, because white supremacy will try to use you, use that power dynamic, keep you down. Sometimes they show you a little bit. Oh yeah, here's a car, in our music industry, right? Oh yeah, you're a rapper here. Here's a contract. Cool, I'll give you this much money up front. Here's a car, here's a chain. Sign this paper. Signed over your whole life. They know that they're going to eat off you for the rest of their life. Their children are going to eat off of your work. And you're going to end up with nothing. So take this money right now, go blow it, go do whatever. Gave up your residuals, or you locked in this terrible contract. But who do they send to come get you? A Black face. They're going to send a cool Black face to come sign. Yay, Parker. What's up, bro? I'm an A&R from such and such label. Your shit's dope, man. Here, sign this. I'm so-and-so from this publishing company. Here, sign this terrible deal.
Yo, I got a deal, man. I just got signed. We on.
Here's $50,000. You've never seen that? You know who else does that? The military. Here's this signing bonus.
And I was up all night watching Wendy Day's interview, so
Wendy, man.
I know what real deals look like, and I know what the work that you got to put in to get there. But absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Like the systemic stuff that's in there. It's like, it's ridiculous how deep it runs, from business to life, to regular life, to psychological warfare, in the sense that, like, even like, for example, Sis, what you were just talking about with the deals, right? So they don't really preach, like, what's a main facet of most modern hip hop, or what they like to call urban music, right? A main facet of that shit is materialism. The money, the cars, the clothes, the chains, the girls. You go on World Stars YouTube right now. You could cycle through the first 10 videos. You ain't even gotta watch them all. Just watch the first 30 seconds of each one, and you're gonna see the same scene opening in each video. It's always a bunch of girls dancing, a bunch of rented Rolls Royces or Bentley trucks or Ferraris or whatever, Lambos, and some dude with a stack of money laying it across his arm like this, or fanning himself with a stack of prop money. And this is an image that's repeated, highly repeated amongst most popular hip hop music today, because they've made materialism a key facet, to the point where you got artists like Blueface saying, you need to get a chain, you need to buy a car, you need to flex, you have to buy something because that's a part of the marketing. They believe that it's
because you're selling that image. Like that's the image.
So it's like, if you're not portraying that you're this big shot with all of this money, it's like, oh well, you're lame, you're whack, or you must not be eating. To the point where he even said, like, if you were an artist and you sign another artist, and you didn't buy your artist, or you didn't buy a chain first, then whoever is paying you must not be paying you enough money. And I'm like, what has to go through your mind from a mentality aspect to think that way, to think that, man, if he ain't driving around in some Rari, or if he ain't got stacks of money, or if he ain't wasting or blowing his money on girls and chains and this and that, Gucci and Louis, that he's not significant or he's not successful.
And nobody told the Beatles to do that. Nobody told Green Day to do that. Nobody told
them to do that. They only
Jam. Nobody said Alanis Morissette, you gotta be half naked. Like
they never told them that. It's only within urban music. It's only within hip hop, and it's a further state of programming for the black mind, because things like business, like something that Jay-Z would rap about on 444, for example, that's not popular to us. You even have other rappers, this is how deep it runs. You had other rappers who were veterans in this shit that were taking shots at Jay-Z, because Jay-Z was trying to get people mentally to think about things like business.
Right.
And you had Boozy and Future. These are veterans. These are not new guys. These are veterans. And they're out there making fun and clowning Jay-Z for being up on business. That's how deep this stuff runs. It's manipulation mentally. Like,
it's funny. The funny part is everybody was laughing at Jay-Z, but when the when the governor of Minnesota said, we about to charge these folks, he said, Jay-Z called me. Specifically, when Ahmaud Arbery's lawyer needed to get where he was going, he said, Jay-Z sent his jet for me. Specifically. Right. So clearly Hove knew something that Future didn't know. Right. And that Boozy didn't know.
And even Kanye too. Like I honestly, I might have to apologize because he playing some chess, it turns out he apparently, I just been reading about this, but he kind of pulled a switcheroo here. He got rid of all of his MAGA hats. He threw all that shit out the window. And a lot of his, if you track his paper trail, he's been donating to a lot of, like Democratic stuff that's like not Trump stuff. But it's like, even then, it's like, that's how crazy this shit is. It's to the point where if a black person realizes the depth of their plight and then says, okay, I need to figure out, this is a system, I need to figure out some way to game the system and play some weird ass looking chess game. And I know even my own people are probably going to hate me for making the moves that I'm making, but I can get to that point where I can push a button or I can move a needle, and I'm going to have to play like I'm party to the other person just to do it. It's like, why would I even have to do that? And it's like, that's how deep it runs.
It's definitely complex. And it's funny because, I really haven't dove back into the Kanye situation. I've seen the conversation. I was a really big Kanye West fan of his art. Like, I don't subscribe to stan culture. I don't care who people are. I know a lot of people that Kanye West knows personally. A lot of the people who've worked under him and with him are friends of mine. I've always respected what he's done as an artist and as a business person. And I was pissed off. I was pretty pissed off at the position he's taken. But, you know, we cancel people, but we don't necessarily, I don't throw people away. I'm always hoping for a redemption story. I'm always hoping for somebody to prove me wrong. I'm always hoping for somebody to show me better. You know, I'm still sour on him having done it at all because I just don't like it because I see where it's led and I kind of always knew this was going to happen. But at the same time, everything moves on its own time. And if his purpose is to do this and to help people and to do whatever it is that's got to go on, my personal feelings aside, they just don't matter in the bigger context. You know, sometimes we all got to think about it like this is a deep-seated long game, you know, and a lot of people are trying to figure it out, and we're gonna make mistakes. Some people just flat out going to do the wrong thing, but it doesn't mean that they got to keep doing the wrong thing. So I hope that you know, whatever he's doing, it benefits the movement. It benefits, you know, him, his family, his children. You know, because no matter what, he's a black man in America. You know, and you know, hopefully that's the way it goes. So I'm gonna get to DQ. DQ, you around? I want to check in with the homie from Texas, and then I want to listen to some music, man. We gotta lift the vibes. DQ might be checked out, but yeah, we gotta lift the vibe. Sean, did you have something you wanted to check in on before we get to the music, my brother?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Just kind of piggybacking off of what Parker has said. You know, we as a people, no matter what race or what color, you know, what I mean, we have to get to the point to where we don't we don't forget to number one love ourselves for who we are. You know, what I mean, and as a black community, you know, we got to learn how to uplift one another. And one of the things that he said, and one of the things that y'all were talking about, just, you know, hit the nail right on the head. You know, you got those who are in the record industry, artists who are in the record industry, who promote the image of you ain't made it until you had a Lamborghini, or until you have a huge house, or until you have girls lined up, you know, at your doorstep, or until you get a stack of money and you put it next to your ear like you talking to your money. And I thought about that. I'm like, how insane is that? The image of you holding a stack of money and putting it to your ear looks insane to me. It's crazy because not only is that an image of something that, I mean, it's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole image of us being as black folks, because that's what people see, no matter if you're black, white, or if you're on YouTube, or if you're on TV, Instagram. The image you put up is exactly the image of how other people, other races see how we are. You know, we don't, and which is sad in itself because we don't have many positive images of ourselves. But for I'll tell you like this. I just put it to you like this. There's a line in the song, one of my favorite songs, called "Self-Destruction" back in the '80s. Kool Moe Dee said, "I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man because that's self-destruction." And I see it all the time, and it's sad. You know what I mean? Us and what Double A was saying, we have to constantly remind ourselves to love ourselves, to lift ourselves up, and that is a shame. And that's a shame that we got to do that in our own black community. It's a shame that we have to be like, you know what? I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of the neighborhood that I grew up in. No, I didn't grow up on the south side of Chicago. No, I didn't grow up on one of the toughest boroughs of New York, or wherever else, but my blackness don't define what your blackness is. I'm still black. We got something in common, you know. And I think until we really get to that point, and I think that might help with the whole Black Lives Matter. Until we really get to that point, then truly we can look down and help, like for those who are up in higher positions or whatever, look down and really help those people out without having an agenda. You know what I mean? It's just so much to it. Just like everyone has said, it's really so much to it. It's like when you open up one door, thousands of other doors about this situation happen. You know what I mean? It's so hard to keep focused on a lot of things, but you know, it's one uh one thing that could help the situation. Like one thing that'll fix a problem is exactly where it starts. It just takes one thing, you know, because one thing can't make up for hundreds of years worth of stuff. You know what I mean? We can get reparations, you know what I mean, but and that will help. But that's just one building block to trying to build a huge fortified, solution to a problem. You know, but the main thing is that the one thing can help build and build and build and build and build. So
Yeah, man. Self-Destruction was a good song. Also, like I said, you know, we have to realize like slavery was this thing where all these people from all these different tribes and cultures were taken and brought to a land and put to work and divided. Families were broken up. Um, there was this breakdown of the Black psyche where we were taught to dislike ourselves, where we were taught to point the finger at each other, where we were taught to separate ourselves by complexion and all these other things, by education, by where you're from and where I'm from and what gang you're in and all these other things.
brown paper bag parties.
And yeah, and you know, we have to realize that those things exist and combat those things on top of combating the external forces that are trying to fuck us up. You know, we have to heal internally and have those conversations. And that's why, you know, I've been trying to have conversations with Black people about Black issues because my big thing is I always preach this and I say, I grew up exactly the way I grew up, and it's not the way everybody else grew up. Because if you didn't grow up where I grew up, when I grew up, your experience is different. Even if you did, your experience is different. So I have to listen to you and talk to you about your experience. I can't just be like, yo, Illuminati, man, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like you might not on some things, and I might not feel you on some things because your experiences were slightly different. And those things that make you matter, those differences, the way you grew up, you know, the small things matter. We try so hard to simplify things. We want everything to be as succinct and compact and easy to label as possible that we forget to celebrate our actual differences. Celebrate, right? Celebrate the things that make you you. Now let's put this into a cultural context, right? We celebrate certain cultures for their food, for their songs, for their dance, you know, for things that make them them, for their you know, the way they weave baskets or, you know, the clothes they make or whatever. We celebrate those things. Black people, we don't do that amongst each other in America. It's an issue. And it's funny because, you know, having some kind of international perspective, like if you're a Black person and you're not from America, because we lack an identity, We don't actually have that overt culture. Like, I can't say, yo, I'm from Ghana, so this is my tribe in Ghana, and this is how we grew up, and this is what we ate specifically, and this is what we did. We just all have this collective Black in America experience, and it's really centered around pain, and it's really centered around trauma more than it is around anything that's dope. Even though we've developed these dope art forms, but if you think about hip hop is sectioned off into cultures, different cultures. We have culture, right? When you talk about LA had a very specific culture, right? The Bay Area in the same state has a whole different vibe. It's got a whole different culture. And that's just two places in the same state. Go to another place in the country, Chicago, right? If you go to Chicago and then you go to Detroit, they have similarities, but it's a lot of different vibes going on too. And you have to respect those different vibes, those different things that brought you up. If I grew up by the water, if my experience as a kid is going to the shore and fishing and all this stuff, if you grew up somewhere else, you might not be able to relate to that. Those experiences made me who I am. But when you're Black, you're just told to throw all those experiences away. Just be Black. That's it. Just be that simple. No matter who you are, no matter what you've gone through, be that simple. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for us. Because what we do is we have these differences, and then it's like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're light skinned, you're, got good hair, bad hair, whatever. That's because we don't respect each other. And that's a big conversation. It has nothing to do with crime and Black on Black violence and none of that goofy shit. It just has to do with the fact that if we're going to be a coalition, we have to come to the table like any other groups and talk about our differences, talk about the things that make us who we are, and respect them. When the Italians and the Irish get together, you know what Italians eat, you know what traditional Irish foods are, you know what traditional Italian songs are, you know these things, right? You know them. When Jamaicans get together, when Dominicans and Black Americans just have Black. We just got slavery to talk about, and it's fucked up. But it's not who we are. Because if you grew up in New York City, it's dope shit about your experience growing up in New York City that is unique and dope to your situation that you can share and fellowship with somebody else. If not, then it turns into you one of them. You a Yankee, right? Or you from up north. You think you better than us. We from down south. Y'all think we slow. When I was in college, we had division amongst the kids that were from up north and the kids that was from down south. And we actually had fights and all kind of shit about it in college. And these were all Black kids going to war.
Bro, it was like that North Jersey versus South Jersey.
Oh, yeah, any kind of divisions we could find. You know what I'm saying? Because we've always been taught to divide. But there's dope shit about North Jersey. That is North Jersey. There's dope things about Central Jersey. That's Central Jersey. And there's shit about South Jersey that's uniquely South Jersey. And they're not the same. And you shouldn't be forced to fall under one banner and act a certain way. Oh, we all Black. Just internalize. Because we all need to be respected. Like when you talk about your life, this is why I ask people like, yo, how are you? I get to know people on a level of like, yo, where you from? What did you learn? Like, I'm curious like that because that's what actually makes us who we are. Your experiences, your actual experiences in life make you the man or woman that you are. And when people ask you to just be this, they discard all of your experiences. They say none of that shit matters. And that is an internal thing that stings. I love having grown up in Philly. I love the school I went to. I love the people and the culture and the way we did things. And I loved traveling and seeing other people's lives. I love going to other parts of the country, other parts of the world, and seeing like, oh, this is how people do it over here. This is dope. This is how y'all music is. This shit's fly. Learning about the way Kansas City had a connection to LA on the rap shit. On the Bay. You know, the whole shit that was going on, they had a vibe going on. And then learning about like the culture in Kansas City, learning about the music, the jazz and all that shit. I didn't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? So when you got homies that's from these other places and y'all learning about the vibes, going to Seattle and learning about what's going on up there, learning about all the amazing culture that they have and traveling to all y'all cities, like that shit's been a blessing for me all these years to be able to travel and meet y'all. And because all that shit's important. I respect y'all because of your experiences. I respect when I come to your town. I respect your city. I respect what makes y'all. That's culture. We have culture in America. Don't let America say you this, oh, we're just all American. No, we're not. What makes America great, or what makes American people great, is our differences. It's what we bring to the table. It's a big ass fucking meal and everybody brings the dish. So when you come to the table, you bring the dish that you make, and that's dope. And I bring the dish I make. And we all enjoy each other's food and music. We have a good time. But that's not what they want from us. They want us to just all be black and, you know, just all be white and blah, blah, blah. America, if you break down America into ethnic backgrounds, not race, in the actual ethnicities, German Americans are the highest ethnic group in America. Yet, German culture has the least impact on American culture of probably any group that's here. We don't really do anything that they do in Germany. We don't really share many customs, except maybe eating sausages. Like, that's probably it. We don't do any of the things they do. We don't have any German accents. We don't use a lot of German words. We don't even say Dankeschön. Like, there's a disconnect. When you get to America, America tells you to throw away your culture. The only people that didn't do it were very specific groups like Italians and the Irish. They maintain their identities. But when you go to the middle of America, people are down south, people say, oh, I'm white. So when an Italian person says, don't call me white, and then, you know, you're American and you get offended by that, understand that they don't feel that way. When my homies come over from Russia and they see us having these discussions, they're like, I'm not white, I'm Russian, you know, or, you know, wherever they're from. It's very specific. That's their culture. You can't rip culture from people and tell us to all hide under this American flag, even with all this trauma that we've gone through. Especially with all the trauma we've gone through, especially with Black people who don't know where we're from. We have no connection to our culture back in Africa. They severed those ties. That's why we have problems with Africans, you know, or Africans have problems with us, because there's a cultural misunderstanding where there shouldn't be, you know. And that's very important. So I'm gonna let Darren weigh in because I know he's got something to say about that. Then I want to hear some music because I'm depressing myself.
Yeah, just real.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my bad. Nah, just real quick, because I definitely want to hear. I want to let some of the people that pulled up with us to play some music and whatnot. But you know, what you're saying is real. But is the one part that I wanted to harp on too was that, especially you being like I'll call it an international kid or whatever. Like, you know, me and my brother were the first generation, you know, that were born in the United States. I'll say it like that. So our parents are from Jamaica. We were born here. And so like one thing like that you said that was for true is that people from other countries, like they're not running around calling each other, at least in my experience anyway, calling each other black or white or blah, 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 blah. Like they're of that nationality. Like we are this thing, you know, like we are Jamaican or we are Russian or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's like a very interesting point that I think a lot of American people just don't understand. Like, they don't get it because they live in a world where it's color coded. And then also, like, they don't have any experiences outside of that. Like, they don't talk to nobody. Like, this country is individualistic, and Western society in general is individualistic, but it's very ethnocentric in many places in this country. And the interesting thing about Jamaica too is, like, just to double up on it, like, the Jamaican motto is "out of many, one people." Like, when we go to Jamaica, it's like, it's not the white this, black this, da 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 da. And not to say there's not something like colorism which exists, that's a thing, but it's just a different. Here in the States is so different, and it's really sad actually, too. Whenever I talk about this, it is very sad. You go to Jamaica, out of many, one people. So, like, in Jamaica, it's like, yo, we're Jamaican. Like, there's people of whatever color you want, whatever shade, and whatever ethnic background from other places that do in fact live and stay in Jamaica. They're Jamaican. Like, they don't have that issue that we have here in the States. So that was just a very interesting point that I can speak to. Oh, I can't hear you.
Just can't hear you.
I feel like you're saying something real good.
American racism is very unique. Our brand of racism is like super unique to us. Racism exists in many forms throughout the world, but the American brand is very, very, very unique, very manufactured, very based on power and disassociation of your actual identity. It's very much a programming that we all go through. It's an indoctrination, and I've been unlearning since I learned that I needed to unlearn. And that's why I hope that this point in time, for everybody who hasn't done that, I've been unlearning for over 20 years. I've been unlearning bad habits. I've been unlearning thoughts because I've been educating myself. I've been increasing my worldview. I've been gaining perspective. So what we hope is that with all this crazy shit going on right now, people are gaining perspective, because that's what people lack. People lack perspective. Everybody's looking at me and how I feel and what I want, right? And when you can afford to do that, that's what you're going to do until you can't afford to do it. So now we know Black Lives Matter. We know, like we've always known, but we know Black Lives Matter now. You know, it's being plastered all in front of our faces. Uber it's on our Uber apps and all kinds of stuff. But now we have to unlearn. You know, Sam touched on this a little bit earlier, like the things that we might have done in the past or whatever, that's fine. Now you have to unlearn. You have to teach yourself every day, learn something new, take these experiences, gain new perspective. That's why we're doing this. We're doing this to be able to listen to each other, to gain perspective. I've gained perspective from every person who's had the opportunity to speak. All of you guys are fucking awesome. I appreciate y'all taking the time. This is not easy. I know it's a lot of folks that might have wanted to do this, but couldn't do it because shit is heavy, and that's okay. Anybody that's out there watching, you know, our doors are always going to be open. My door is always going to be open. If you want to talk in private or whatever, you know, let's do it, because it's important that we do this fight together. Cool? So, bam, we're going to play some music. You know, we always let the guests go first. So, my guy Boominati, you got something queued up, bro? So here's how we're going to do. We got Boominati, then we're going to go Blacker Than Me. We're going to go Kelsey, my guy Keith Bueno, and then we're going to let the BounceGvng show off. DQ, I'm going to still get you, bro. Oh, I thought I just seen the racist guy again.
What did I do, man?
No, I was just saying we gonna get you because we want to hear that Texas perspective, my brother.
Oh, okay, bet, man. I thought I got in trouble. I'm gonna say,
no, you all good. You all good. We gonna let Boominati do his thing though.
Bet.
All right, cool. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
You got the sound, so.
All right.
I'm a young black man doing all that I can to stay. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've got enough struggle. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bruh. Yeah.
Double A, could you take the lead for
Fire.
a few minutes, my brother?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Boominati, you need to put that out like yesterday, bro. That's by far the best one I've heard so far. I heard a few of them. That one was good, man. How long you been sitting on that?
I mean, it's out there on my Instagram, but after I seen I forgot his name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names, but after I seen the first guy remix it, yeah, I was like, let me see what I can do with it.
Yeah, put that out, man. We'll support that ASAP. That joint's tough, man.
Facts.
Dag, I feel sorry for who got to follow that.
Who you telling?
Oh, you up, man? Whatever, man. Just go ahead and play, man. I know we getting ourselves into, but that was Boominati, man. That was
sure was.
That was right on time. That was right on time. Blacker Than Me. What you got for the people, man?
I don't even know, man. Yeah, Boominati is killing it. You hear me? Let me see what I get.
Make sure you grab that sound or the screen,
right.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Y'all can see, y'all can hear.
Well, we see you got the sound, so get in press play, and we'll let you know what we hear.
All right. Well, I'm basically gonna join the same theme as, if you will. I'll just play it.
Woo! See, I'm the more animated version of our homie Sizz. Sizz will keep it even kill. Nah, I get fanboy real quick. That joint was tough, man. I'm over here dancing.
That was wild, bro.
Those chord change ups. I need you to take several seats, man. Just go sit in the corner, put the hat on your head, and just turn about face. 15-minute penalty box on that one, man. Oh man, that was good. That was good. Kelsey.
Double A was good, bro.
Man, it's good to see you, bro. Man, it really is.
Likewise.
I pray all is well with you and the fam.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know what
Likewise,
people
bro.
see.
You've been in your bag, man. I've been watching you, man. I've been watching you act up. You bring your bag. What you got for us today?
I'm actually going to do something a little different. Normally I play a beat, but I'm actually working exclusively with an artist named Kumbaya. She's incredible. So I'm going to share an exclusive right now. Probably shouldn't be playing this, but I feel like, you know.
We ain't going to tell nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
We ain't going to tell nobody.
But I'm going to do it anyway for you guys. So let me, I'm going to share the screen. 1 second.
All right.
Advanced computer. All right, cool. 1 second, Buck. All right, here we go.
Hey, you look cute in that overcoat. Tell me how to not respond with the open throat. Brown with a little gray like the color taupe. In the window, I can signal my brother though to pull up. Both speakers will be leaking out calypso. Chicken about to cluck cluck on my buck up like that. A sheet and a decent pencil be my bento like clay. Beat you shut the fuck up with that seaweed, okay? Yo, when I call you pretty, I'm reaching beyond your titties. Took a tour and found the spores of a decent bouquet. Giant dome on the diatome, I need you to say. Fire breathing dragon, drag the weak into caves. You fucking blade when you cut the rug up, I land like color. All of this rawness I came when I saw it in insane proportions. Got nauseous, I'm all shish kebab and you are the hostess. But to keep it a bean, I flow ugly like a pinto. Until I remember the point I made on my tentos. Trillions of galaxies giving me the essential. Yes, put rapper to rapper and I punch when I tap a X. Who's I next to you?
All right, that's it. I'm gonna get in trouble, but that's what I'm working with.
Yo. Yo. All right, man.
Yeah.
We need to have some conversations here because that's all you ever needed was that artist, bro. That joint sounds like a match made in heaven you got going on right now.
Yeah, shout out to Lupo. He helped me with the chords. He was with the chords and I had the drums. But yeah, I'm super excited about her. She actually made a real nice post, you know, just expressing herself during this time. And it's, you know, a lot of people is feeling it. So, you know, yeah, appreciate it, bro. You know, I'll leave her IG here in case y'all want to check her out.
Oh yeah, put that in the chat, man. We'll definitely check it out. Be on the lookout for that. So I know with everything going on right now, releasing music probably got pushed back for everybody. So when's the timetable for that record coming out?
That is actually a rough, but no, that record we're trying to do a project within a month. Like we're kind of expediting everything because I'm learning sitting on music doesn't do you much justice. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely,
it's like, yeah, we're definitely trying to do a project within a month. So follow her and stay tuned, you know, pretty much. And I'll drop my IG as well. But yeah, within a month, bro.
All right. Well, thank you for pulling up and pressing play. Don't go nowhere.
No, I'm here.
We're gonna keep this going. We're gonna keep this going.
No.
I remember back what was it, 2017? I stand in New York at Drum, man.
January 23rd. I'll never forget that day. Yep.
Yeah, man. Me and you, we placed I think we placed third. And I think Ricky took second, who JaVinci took first.
It was Scratch Nice.
Yeah, them two. The duo.
Yeah.
But I remember that night because that was my first time hearing Kelsey live. And what I thought they said, this dude, he got the compliment of Dr. Dre.
Yeah, but
and that was
yeah.
That was a big deal, man. So it's just great to see us grow together over the past few years, man. And I'm just looking forward to everything else you got coming out down the pike. My guy Keith Bueno.
Yeah, it was good.
The Bay by way of Up Top.
Yes, sir. Jersey.
What you got for us today, my good brother?
I got something that me and my brother Parker did.
Ooh. Oh, see now I got called conspiracy theory because you know Parker's on the call. Like, what's the chances? What are the chances? Parker show up. Oh yeah, I got a record that's going to debut. Let me make sure I'm in the room. I got you. I ain't gonna tell nobody though. I ain't gonna tell nobody. But go ahead, break it, buddy.
It's real, you know.
beginner. Really, homie, I just need a minute. Taking the all in. Oh, yeah, I'm never finished. Started from the bottom, now we in there. Who I gotta think is in the mirror. Blacking on peace. I just drop beat. Hooks, but it's smooth like the Valorama seas. Big body bands, I pray rest in peace. Reminiscing won't be in these California streets. But I'm still here, nigga. I'm still here with you. I done got my weight up in the wintertime, I'm saying, nigga. She not gonna respect none of my time, no, I ain't playing with her. She lost again, that's what you get for trying to play a nigga. Fuck on my face. I gotta forgive myself for losing it and not saving it. All these souls goofy like the paint thinner. I ain't smart time, I'm thinking way bigger. Fuck a social media model, bitch. I want the A-listers, that's all facts. I'm glad I never turned my back and never had to rap like that, or look like that, move like this, and sound like that. Y'all sound like crap. You 69, your label sound like rats. Now who's snitching? You know it's quiet on my shit. Best kept cause we shine like that. Now who's switching? We only pushing cartel quit. The streets don't want me jot that pen. I let it breathe. Let it breathe. Yeah. Yeah, nigga, let it breathe. Yeah, let it breathe. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I see what y'all doing over there on the left coast.
Love sign.
Bueno. And Parker, gang, let it breathe. That the name of the record?
I don't really got no title.
Actually, I just called it outro. It's just outro. Yeah.
It's outro. So when y'all gonna out that record and put it out to the public, when's that coming?
Soon, man. We working on it. It's gonna go on a posse cut. So the whole squad's we're cooking up some things on the lab.
Oh, we looking forward to that, man. Good work, both of you. That's a dope record. Dope vibe.
Shout out to Bueno.
Yes, sir. My guy, Mr. Gooden, you had your hand up. Did you want to interject here? You know, Vice President of A&R, corner office.
Oh, yeah, right. My bad. That was from back with Sis earlier. He must not put my hand down on it.
All right, what about you, Smart Boy Beats? Oh, you got a song. Oh, let me just double back, make sure we did. Yeah, I believe we have. So go ahead and showcase, my guy. Grab that audio, good brother.
What is it? I don't know what white people see. No, they don't really know anymore. I do know very well that I realized when I was very young that whatever he was looking at, it wasn't me.
I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be the adult. This world ain't looking right. Luckily, my future's bright. Black and educated don't mean a thing. When I'm on my knees, officer, don't shoot. Just another hashtag. Am I just another hashtag? Black in America, can't even breathe. Suffocated by white supremacy. You can't hold me down. Soon you'll see me soaring through the sky. I'm blessed, beautiful, melanated. I'm blessed, beautiful, melanated. I'm blessed, beautiful, and melanated. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Black men dying for no.
And with the scats.
That's a beautiful record right there, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right, gang. Anybody else got a song they want to play?
I'll play
I'm
one.
It's time.
Oh, DQ, yeah, DQ, you do something. Man.
I'm trying to hear what M got.
Who?
He's
Them keep that fire.
I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna play some. This is it's a lot different than I think some of you guys heard this, but something that me and Trey's been working on.
Play that heat, son.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it quick.
Flashing lights. Can anyone save me? Can't tell wrong from right. Visions hazy. Don't wanna believe again. I'm bleeding in. You don't care. I don't wanna leave a friend pretending that you'll always be there. You're not that. I'm fine. I tell myself I can't get through to you. Love's not ever safe. Got me dripping all over you. I do things I never do. Look at them, but I see you. Cause I'm dripping all over you. Dripping all over you. Think about you too much and it ain't right.
Anyway, still working on a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Starting to come together quite nicely.
I like that.
My head like this.
Yeah, you guys got me on the fence. I don't know if I should play a gospel record that I got or R&B joint. Jeez.
Man, drop that gospel. You know we hear R&B from you all the time. Let me hear that gospel.
Yeah, let's hear that. It's shown up.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is a I don't know if you guys are familiar with the whole Rockefeller movement, but they signed this kid named Young Steph way back in the day. Did songs "Can I Holler" on the Like Mike soundtrack. A couple records called "Professional." He's been around, but I did a song with his father, George Goldsboro, and he put it out recently, and I have one of the reference songs here, but I'll just let you hear it, and we'll just go from there, man. We'll just go from there. But I was listening to it a lot over the last couple of days, and hopefully it gives some form of inspiration. And the song's called The Answer.
We need you more than ever. We need you more today. Lord, I pray. We thank you for your mercy and grace. And teach us how to love one another in this world of hate. Yeah. So rain down your love in this place. And teach us and show us how to love with agape love from heaven. Agape love, your agape love. Because we gotta hold up the bloodstained banner and keep climbing till it comes alive. Shine your light through me so the world can see. Lord, use me for your will so they can see. Your love is the answer for this world today. Above you, there's no other. Jesus, your way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. There's no other. There's no other. There's no other.
Yes, that's
Okay.
We're gonna take up an offering. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor. Jesus.
Neighbor?
Jesus
If the ushers
is
would gather
the way.
gather the collection.
Hallelujah.
Hold up the bloodstained banner.
Wait, who came with that voice? Oh man, yes sir.
He coming in a Hyundai.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
all right, I'm gonna head out now.
On that note, we can't really top that.
I'm gonna head out now. All right, so, all right, I got it. Let me bring it back. Let me just bring it back. Yeah, right. Let me just get you guys back on brand real quick. So this record here, this will be on my album Titan. Melissa Jones working on this for a while, called How You Do It. Hope you guys like it.
Please, don't you stop. Everything you're doing got me going wild. I never plead, but you gotta give it to me, don't you leave. I got the window that you get to open anytime you want to. I always remember the way you enter, you climbing up to it. I like how you do it, the way you say my name. I like how you do it, don't ever change a thing. I like how you do it, the way you make me sing. I like how you do it, I like how you do it, I like how you do it, the way you say my name. I like how you do it, don't ever change a thing. I like how you do it, the way you make me sing. I like how you do it, I like how you do it. Hey, keep it up, change the tempo, hold it, make me feel your love.
Yeah, so that's Melissa Jones. How You Do It.
Hey,
Easy.
that's smooth.
Nice.
Get out the room.
Get out the room.
Fire.
I'm not listening to anything Blacker Than Me talked about. Get out the room. You ain't get that off. All right, man.
That was fire, dog. That was fire.
So who played the joint before this one?
That was still
The gospel track.
Oh my bad.
That was me.
That was
Double A, doubled up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, both of those are fire.
Oh, thank you. So we're gonna round robin this thing. I know DQ got something. He over there with the hat on, like he about to go fishing, like he ain't trying to play.
I said the
Hey,
same
you know what I'm
damn
saying?
thing.
That's what I do. I got something though. Let me see. I think I got a little something for y'all. Let me see what I got.
He with his fishing hat on.
I gotta have the DQ.
Oh, Sis Fonzarelli is back.
You know, I got something for the mood. That's all.
Uh-oh.
Y'all let me know.
Let me see. All right. I got a Von Beat track, an unreleased Von Beat song that I got. I'm gonna go ahead and get that going.
We're gonna call out your flex every time you do it. I'm just putting you on notice right now. Every time you flex, I'm gonna put a air horn in the air.
Oh man. Got to. All right, let me see what I got.
So yeah, I got an unreleased Kanye West record. You know, I've been sitting.
It ain't no whack beat because there ain't no whack producers in Dallas, bro. That's
no whack ones, man. All right. Having technical difficulties. Had to sign into another account. There we go. All right, we good now. I had to sign into a different account. I got too many Google Drives.
Problems of being a rapper.
Hey, I love being part of BounceGvng, baby.
I hear that. Gang.
Gang. All right, here we go. Right here, DQ Vaughn. Where the hell you at? Too many damn tracks.
Yeah, let me get back in fanboy mode for you guys, you phenomenal creators.
That's how we do it, baby. All right, here we go. Damn. Shit took forever. All right. For real. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna play this track by Agent M that got placed by this company called the Weed Spot. It's a franchise company. This song is playing everywhere. Shout out to Agent. That's how we gonna do it. Until I get my Vaughn track.
Nothing playing, bro.
No sound.
No sound?
No.
Man, fuck it. Skip me, bro.
All right, Sis.
Come on, you.
Scissor 215.
Got you. I'm about to get it right.
All right.
Coming live to you from the Sanctum.
Grabbing the sound right now, my guy.
All right, you got it. You may know him as Joe the Policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. I want you to give it up for Jackson Heights' own Mr. Randy Watson. Randy Watson, yeah.
Yo, y'all stupid.
That boy good.
That boy good and terrible.
You know what's wild? I made a lot of songs that had political overtones, and I didn't do it on purpose. So like when I go back through my catalog, I listen to songs, I'm like, oh shit. I mean, maybe because this type of stuff's always been going on, and I always made sure that my music spoke to things that was actually happening in the world, instead of just like trying to be the flossy guy talking about whatever was going to be cool for the record labels. So this track right here, I did with my man Kari Mateen. He's a crazy producer, originally from Atlanta, did a bunch of stuff with the Roots. It's called Run. We did this around the time I think the Roots was putting out Game Theory, so it's kind of got that vibe. We actually recorded this. I gotta get my flex on. Recorded this, you know, he was working out of Larry Gold's studio out of Questlove spot. So this joint's called Run. Hopefully it'll play.
Sis got us anticipating and waiting on the magic. You know it's gonna be special.
I feel like DQ jinxed me.
Oh shit!
The Texas curse. It's a real thing.
I'm like, yo, where's my stuff? Okay, cool. Nah, I got it on my computer. It's funny because I actually put it. It's on the BounceGvng website too. So just in case.
Just in case, how to make it come back.
Y'all can find this whole project.
Yo, that's his genuine picture, bro.
Pimpin'. Pimpin'.
Yo.
Pimpin'.
EQ made a Differences album cover.
All right, here we go. So yeah. Hopefully this works. I switched to so many inputs, my computer's confused. For all you people out there who love Sis, y'all can start a GoFundMe for a brand new computer because the PullUp has murdered my computer.
Oh no.
My CPU hates me.
Let's get that tip cut ready on Twitch.
Yeah, we had passed a collection plate around
Might have
earlier,
to,
so
might have to do that OnlyMans account.
Y'all hear that?
He's running out. Come, fellas. 1 3. Get some shit to bang in our head too, man. We call it run. Two dashes. Tailgate a 3-second rule. We got it. Come on.
Cause the feds on my coattails and they're in my coattail distribution wholesale. I said it's music, they laugh and say, oh well, now I'm in the cold cell and I ain't making no sale. I had my piece, I'm trying to win a Nobel. I guess the judge ain't giving me no bell. I'm like, oh, you ain't getting it right. See, I'm an actor, I ain't really living my life. I never pulled one time with the dice. And mama told me that I should have took advice. I was running in the back, halfway from the back, trying to make a move, I was trapped. For some reason, I never ever made it once around the track. Lost with no map, damn, this shit's whack. I thought this rap game would be so fun. And hip-hop cops gonna be damn, here they come. I gotta
Go 215-10-pop.com side things.
Cause I broke that car, I was tailgating too close, I broke that law. So I tried to take flight, but my jeans too tight. The chain swinging on me, man, they ain't on me. I ain't saying how they gon' blame it on me. I follow the leader like Rock came and told me this is what they told me. I can stop on it, put a little bake on it, like some cake on it, make them wait on it, kept changing the date on it. It tastes just like the hood. They told me it's no good. Look around the whole scene, nothing changed. The 007 dimension to see no game. You could be a bump and still see some fame. You could be negative and still see some game. It's a roadblock ahead, but I see my lane. I'm on the block with the pistols, man. Okay, I gotta.
Nelson, he's running southbound 1 Street.
Down the floor, it's a fast break. It's a high-scoring game with a fast pace. I used to have a team, I had to castrate. I had to cut them off, cause they was worse off. It's go hard to go home in this business. It's kill or be killed, I ain't leaving the witness. Now y'all can witness my participation. Now this rat, my sickness infecting the whole nation. I ain't got patience, I'm swerving right Pacific. Close up, I proceed to exit. Bypass y'all like I'm on the guest list. And make sure y'all on the blacklist. Y'all moving backwards. No matter what rap y'all take. Too extreme, y'all ain't. I can feel your face. You gon' have shake the heart like you need a day. It's my way, y'all gon' need to wait.
So how when you hear somebody rapping, it make you want to rap even though you can't rap? That's the thing, man. That was hard, bro. I can see why you was at many tables for a deal. At many tables for a deal. But you know what's better? We got all his acapellas. We got all the acapellas.
We got the acapellas.
Hint. We got the acapellas. So this is about to get real nasty.
Hell yeah, sis. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm back right, baby.
Oh, you ready? Is that your way of saying you ready to go?
Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Oh.
Wait. Pause on all that.
All right, let's see.
I see you, Darren. Look here, Senior Vice President A&R. Slow down. Conversations need to happen.
I need a chain though, bro. It could be 90% real. I'll take 90% real.
Hey, see, is you sharing the screen?
Facts.
Hey, see, is you still sharing the screen?
Nah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Hey, Darren, I need one of them Dominican. I need the Dominican link. The Dominican link chain.
Oh, you want the Cuban?
No, I want a Dominican.
Oh man.
Yeah, give me a Trinidadian link.
Yeah, facts. I got that. I know a guy or two.
Oh, dope.
So I know 2 guys.
So I know 2 guys. Tony bought me 2 sweaters.
Took me to the mall, got me 2 sweaters.
All right, here we go. This track, me and Von beats. See what's popping.
Known that boy since he was in diapers. It looks good, but we can't hear it. You might as well drop that joint in the chat.
Again, come on, man.
Let somebody else play it for you.
Playing with my heart, man.
Are you sure you got the sound? Because it don't say that you have the sound.
You don't say I got sound? Okay.
Nah.
Are you sharing computer and sound, or you just share your screen?
Yeah, just make sure. Yeah.
Yo, DQ, man, you've been through enough sound checks, man. You should know this, my brother.
I've been one.
There you go.
Yeah, I got you.
I see it now. We finna get to it now.
We're about to jam in this bit now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Martin Luther with a stick of Buddha, yeah, nigga about to get his king on. Never slacking, yeah, I'm quarterbacking, I'm about to get my Willie Beam on. Out the box with a box of jerseys, yeah, player about to put the team on. Smoking on the cryptic light, damn right, this my theme song. Never cared if niggas got offended, cause I compliment the track I'm recommended. Flow never getting reprimanded, cause I talk my shit without me stepping in it. Niggas silent like the Fifth Amendment, boy, these niggas tripping, boy, these niggas slipping. DQ known to keep it pippin' with a zipper sticky in the fifth of Henry. I don't know why niggas pillow talking, cause it's really hard to keep their bitches off me. Top down on the way to Austin in this Texas weather, and I'm feeling awesome. Bitches praise me like it's Pentecostal when your man are marking out the red the gospel. Rolling deep just like the 12 apostles in the pippin', older than the fucking fossils. Now whoa, 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 whoa. Told these people I was fucking lethal with the mindset of a fucking eagle. Smoking on some legal sour diesel. Always giving power to the people when I rock the mic just like I'm Benny Siegel on the freeway, on a three-way with a bad queen like she living single. Big head, so I need a Gina sipping on a nice bottle of Aquafina. Baby girl steady acting diva, but I knocked her down off a llama reader. Like a pimp, how a nigga treat her. Like a king, how a nigga move. Find beats on the damn beat. With DQ, boy, you can't lose. Martin Luther with a stick of Buddha, how a nigga about to get his king on. Never slacking, yeah, I'm quarterbacking, I'm about to get my Willie Beam on. Out the box with a box of jerseys, how a player about to put the team on. Smoking on the cryptic light, damn right, this my theme song. Martin Luther with a stick of Buddha, how a nigga about to get his king on. Never slacking, yeah, I'm quarterbacking, I'm about to get my Willie Beam on. Out the box with a box of jerseys, how a player about to put the team on. Smoking on the cryptic light, damn right, this my theme song.
Yo, what are you waiting on with that record? Yo, everybody in the room, I looked at the whole room. We all had the same stank face bopping in unison. Except for Darren, because that's how you know Darren's an A&R, because his poker face is immaculate. This dude hasn't head nodded once.
He's like, yeah, we
started pressing play.
We might sign him.
Relax.
No, I definitely had a good head bop.
No, you did not move.
Jokes aside, not well, whatever. Jokes aside, I was about to type in how I was going to sign DQ too, but I did say, hey, I was in the chat. I said it was fire.
You were definitely born to be the A&R. That's not all you're born to do. But A&R is definitely because your poker face is
DQ. See, it's a thing though. DQ knows heat.
That's why he came on here with no shirt and a hat. Because he knew what he was about to do.
No. Well, the thing is, DQ a star though. That's the thing. DQ a star.
Facts on that too. How long have you had that record, and why have you had it that long and it's not out?
That track I had it for 4 or 3 months, and I'm waiting on a Von verse.
Oh.
Yeah, Von actually spit. He got an EP coming. I don't know if I'm leaking that, not supposed to, but that nigga got some EP coming.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that boy got heat.
But yeah, I'm waiting on my Von verse. If I don't get it, then
but I tell you what, if you weren't supposed to say that, you're gonna get a call from Teresa.
I'm gonna get cussed out.
You're gonna get a call, brother. But all right, so you're gonna get a call, good buddy. Come on, buddy. Everybody in here knew that you wanted some chicken. All right. So who wants to press play now?
I'll jump in before I gotta get off this call because I gotta get to some more features, but
You know, sis, I had to give it to Parker. He just accidentally came on here at a time that Keith was going to debut a record from him, from the two of them. I was like, what a coinky dink.
Miraculously.
All right.
Hey, Parker, I'm letting you know right now, Cruz is getting ready to fly, nigga.
Oh, word?
That record's hard, man.
Is it ready to fly?
Fly.
Okay.
That's the Miami record, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I have my little role in that. Glad to be a part of something special.
Get your coins, bro.
Yeah, I want all three of them.
Audio on this.
It's 500,000 people. You want to be that guy?
So So hit where it says share screen.
Oh, I see it. Share computer sound.
Yeah.
Boom. And then hit share. Woo! Oh, hold up. It's making me type in my.
About to say, I hope your screensaver is safe.
Actually, yeah, it is. Okay. I'm gonna pull a double in, hit a 2-piece real quick, but that's only because.
Don't blame me for that.
See, Parker trying to get signed. That's why.
What you mean, bro? I'm in the.
He saw I was in signing mood today, so he said, "Oh shit."
Don't let them lie to you. Parker is signed. He owns his publishing, masters, everything.
I own everything.
Parker signed himself.
Signed myself. All right, here we go. This is joint I did with Keith Bueno. He had to jump off the call, but I will play this.
I'm here.
Oh, you here? I thought you didn't leave.
Nah, I was saying by Agent M.
Oh, shit. Well, let's run it then.
Bueno. 5-2, in the wall. Bombshell, she a star. She a wall. Taking every corner of my mind, for sure. We take every corner of my hide. Swerve, Barry engine purring, just like a kid. Adolescent streets, let me show you around your city. Take some time, top of Mount Olympus, taking pictures, then we head back to the crib. Time for some bedroom Olympics, yeah. Championship, winner something, yeah. She doing the space, in the circle, yeah. All my niggas wanna be your inner circle, but I'm gonna keep you on the ground like them teenage ninja turtles. She can have whatever she want, love whoever she want, fuck whoever she don't, yeah. Like I'm the one that she needs, fuck whoever can see, ain't no man gon' do you like me, yeah. She can have whatever she want, love whoever she want, fuck whoever she don't, yeah. Looking like I'm the one that she needs, fuck whoever can see, ain't no man gon' do you like me, yeah. I'ma do wonders for you, baby. Take it all in, yeah, take that lady. Don't overdose, you might go crazy, yeah. I'm a professional, don't blame me. Make it back Twitch on stream, no gaming. Need caffeine, I give you that wake up. These ain't niggas don't fake me. I done came up without no favors, baby. I like my time, don't waste it. Fucking around with all of them bricks, no whiz. Wait, hold up, catching my drift, you get what I'm saying? I'ma be Goku up in your trunks, popping this capsule, back and I'm banging.
Yeah, that's Keith. On the
Wow, that shit is fire.
Yo, Keith, man, I know you an MPC guy. Which model you using these days?
Using the Renaissance.
Jeez, man.
He's just calm as hell, man. You a monster, man.
Keith is a little problem, man. He a shooter.
God damn.
So basically.
Keith is a rooftop sniper. He ain't trying to tell nobody what he up to.
Yeah, no. That's
why he's so quiet.
That's why he's so quiet. He's a shooter, man.
He said, I'm going to let you watch the movie. I ain't going to tell it.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to hit this last one, and then I'll be out. From these three, I don't know which one. There's a lot.
Look at that. Just heat everywhere.
There's heat everywhere, literally. All right, we'll go with this one.
Till I came on the monster, looking mad that she was impressive. Shut it down up and I was sharp and the motherfuckers to me, I'm saying I'm aggressive. Looking in the mirror, I see it's a killer, ain't cuff, see 30 in a passion shot. Hey, the mama, what it do? You know why they got the juice. Minute Maid Tropicana, 20 grand with the apple. Phantom whipping in a Phantom, cool. Got my bitch up in the Phantom, too. Drop back, bring that. Speed limit, speed on random. With a root bar, with a my come touch me. Me never see a man, I try. Walk fast if you want come past me. Me, I can jump on through it, come press me. Say I want rock with the king, don't check it. So they can't take my tone and shut it. And I go respect me. Oh no, nigga like me, I don't get out of my minute, nigga. been tested. Stayed down till I came on the monster. Looking at the shit was impressive. Shut it down up and I was sharp and the motherfuckers to me, I'm saying I'm aggressive. Looking in the mirror, I see is a killer, ain't gutsy, thrilling in the bed, she shot. Oh my, would you look at the time? Guess I gotta get it back again. I should find me an S-Corp, I don't need tax on my dividends. Big boss talking big shit, niggas ain't on me, I must be blessed. I remember when I was a shit, wasn't nothing, I know gave a damn. Who that boy, who that is, Robert Orange 6 ring.
Okay, so that's that one.
Get out.
Okay. God damn, Parker.
Let's get out of here, man.
That Parker boys.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick couple hitters, and I'm just gonna leave.
Man, look, I'm cooking up.
I got one.
Shit in the vault. Yeah, let me hear that.
So we was baiting you in. Gotcha. Baiting you in. There we go.
Oh, he had to pull the session up.
Now, there's just a warning. I don't know if the sessions are friendly, so just keep that in mind.
Oh,
yeah, you might
he
have
got
to
his
do
iTunes up. Okay. Ew.
Boomer Natty, you can boomer your ass right out this room.
You
that disrespectful
huh?
Foolishness you just did right there.
This Negro's ill.
You are in
He said, huh?
violation of every rule that we
Made no
have.
sense.
Oh, that's sick. That was sick.
It sure was.
That change up was very unexpected. But I loved it though.
Stops, everything was just
That change of, yeah, that was insane.
Yes.
Hey, would it be alright if I play
Man, don't even ask. Just press play, man. I'm sick of you. I pulled your coattail a long time ago, my friend. Just press play. Would it be all right? Come on, man.
Okay, but I gotta figure out how y'all did it because I don't want to share my whole screen.
All right, so I'll walk you through it. So at the bottom toolbar, you're gonna hit share screen, but at the top, you're gonna see basic and advanced on that pop-up window. Click advanced. You're gonna click advanced, you're gonna hit music and sound, computer sound only.
Okay, got it.
That's the ticket.
All right.
There you go.
I'm actually gonna play a song from a friend of mine. I produced for him. His name is AR Bass. He actually wrote a song about, the COVID-19, the whole thing that's going on. And I had actually my sister and my nieces and nephews, they contracted COVID-19 about 4 weeks ago. Just a week and a half ago, they tested negative for it.
I'm about to say, please tell me they came out on the other side, bro.
Yes.
Thank God for that.
So, yes, indeed. So I really thank God for that. I thank God for, COVID-19 not coming in our dwelling or anyone here. If you have family members that have it, my prayers are with you. But this song simply says, no plague shall come our way.
Bad news in the news of how this plague just grew. But I'm not giving in to all of this worrying. I stopped by the grocery store and all the people wanting more. My temperature getting hot, but I believe can't stop. No plague, no plague, no plague can come my way. No plague, no plague, no plague can come my way. TV on to watch the game, league down. This is insane. Now who's calling my phone? Another text about what's going on. When he said, don't be scared, just be aware. Not in despair, stay in faith, not in fear. No God, is always there. No plague, no plague, no plague can come my way. No plague, no plague, no plague can come my way. Not the terror by night, nor the arrow by day can come and harm my way. Not the fire of sins or the violences, no, thousands fall. No plague can come my way. No plague.
Bro, your musicality is unbelievable, man.
Taking to church. Taking to
Beautiful.
church. Love it.
Crazy.
Praise God, son. Praise God.
I feel like you sunning me when you say that, bro. The way you say it.
Nah, that's the wrong
Praise
one. You
God.
gotta hit it with the organ. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you trying to go shout? You trying to go shout music? Okay. Try to get that bump going.
Can I share some stuff?
Absolutely, my friend.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Who said pick them up?
All right. I got it. Hold on,
Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him. Oh, he wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. No.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, play that.
Word. All right.
Yo.
Yeah, that's one.
Yo.
The musicality on that is just.
Hey man.
Okay,
Sam,
homie.
Sam, send me them drums, man. Send me
Okay,
them drums.
homie.
That was ill.
Send me them drums, dog.
Oh yeah, I got you. Thank you. Oh wait, I wanna get one more.
You got reshare. You got it.
Let them
I'm gonna
out.
keep this one short.
Do it.
I like to work in like different time signatures sometimes. When it works, and this is one of the times that it worked.
6-8, 12-8,
7-8.
Oh, he young. Go ahead.
Make sure you grab the sound.
Oh, I didn't. Word. I thought it was still there.
I need Sean and Sam to make a song together. There you go.
I got it.
Lab is requested. rules.
No, that is out of here.
We don't need no stinking rules.
I counted.
Outta
That was
here.
7. That was 7. That was
Can you
7.
play it? Can you play it
Yo.
again? Can you play it again?
That chord progression is nuts. How you resolve that, bro?
Thank you.
Damn
And it was 7.
I know you
counted
don't
it
do
as
drugs,
7.
but what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah, sometimes.
Something is causing
I know you don't do drugs, but what do you do?
something alien is causing that right there.
Yeah.
You know how your mind got to work to do that in the 7th, 8th, and
that one just like really fell into place. Like I was just like fucking around. I noticed it was in 7/8, and it just like fell into place.
Yeah, those
Yeah, that's
beautiful
it.
accidents, man.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Meanwhile, Smart Boy got his hand up because he got a 6 save that he about to play. Let's go.
Big shout out to Rachel Hendricks.
Crazy, bro.
Crazy.
That's what you doing?
It's normal smart boy for that ass.
That's what we doing?
That's crazy.
Oh,
Waves, not MP3s.
I'm
Waves.
about 2 seconds from hitting y'all with a DQ record.
Oh,
We all got DQ records, but I got one.
Gentlemen,
I
got one.
Just to be cognizant of time, we've been running for almost 4 hours. So we can continue to party, but we probably want to sign off.
Oh, we still live. Yo.
Yeah. I do have to disappear though, so
usually I don't do this, but
go ahead, keep the party going.
So for everybody out there who's been tuned in watching, we appreciate you joining us for this discussion. We're gonna fellowship in music. Thank y'all for just listening, taking the time. To everybody who hopped on the call, who shared, man, you don't know how much that meant. It's been super surreal to hear everybody's points of view. Everybody just added to the situation in the best way. So hopefully everybody can take this back and share it amongst your people, share it amongst your circles, and we could just fucking do better, you know? Let's just do better. I'm hopeful for the future, man. I think we're going in a great direction, and let's just keep fighting a good fight. Meow.
Yay.
And hopefully we'll be back next week with episode 11 of the PullUp. In the meantime, I am Scissor, and this is the BounceGvng, and we are signing off.